Hello, my friend Ben.
How is the Ecuadorian king of cocksucking going?
That was good until you go ahead of king. With the king, I was happy.
Sorry, that sounded a bit strange. Can you repeat that?
Okay, that was good until you mentioned something else after king.
Mentioned.
Exact. After you mentioned.
Well, I can't hear the ed mentioned.
Mentioned.
There,
Mentioned.
now I hear it. Yes.
Mentioned. Maybe it is my British English, I don't know. Sometimes it's my English, my British, my
Well,
Australian
even
pronunciation.
well, it doesn't matter if you're British or Australian. You still pronounce the ed, right?
Yes, not just kidding. So I think that your face is quite brilliant, brilliant today, or
Well,
shiny,
brilliant.
shiny maybe.
Well, I would say that your image is quite bright.
Your image is quite bright. Did you do something? Do you have a new camera? I can see
The
your
pronunciation
okay
is actually camera.
camera.
Yeah, you don't need to pronounce the e. You don't need to say camera.
Camera,
You
no,
just
camera,
cut out the e.
camera.
No, cut it out. Remove it.
Okay, camera.
Camera.
Okay, your
Yeah,
camera. Do you
cut
have
it
a
out.
new camera?
Cut out the e like it was a malignant mole. Just cut it out of your skin. Cut it out.
Okay. Do you have a new camera?
I don't. I just cleaned the camera that I had. It's the only thing I
Okay,
did.
okay. But I can see even the points that we have in the face. How should I call those points?
You mean the little spots?
Exactly, spots in our face.
Are they
When we
permanent spots or temporary spots?
temporary, when we eat a lot of greasy food.
A lot of what, sorry?
Greasy food? No, greasy.
Greasy.
Greasy food.
Yeah. Those are called and they're fun to squeeze.
Exactly. And not more often than not, it is fun to squeeze them.
I love giving them a good squeeze. Those are called pimples.
Pimples. Pimples. Oh, okay. Good to know. Pimples.
Pimples. Pimples. Well,
Pimples.
in
Did
plural,
you,
it's with an S, right?
when you were a teenager, did you used to have a lot of pimples in your face?
Um, Not really. On my back, I remember I had a little bit of, I had that problem, and I had to scrub my back in the shower with like a special
Okay.
pimple
With a hand, I think that
soap or something.
like a plastic hand, I think.
Well, it was like a wooden scrub. It was a back
Exactly.
scrub. Just it was, it's like a big toothbrush, but a
Ah, okay.
giant one. So just to continue on the topic of like skin, I thought you were referring to my freckles. Freckles are like the little dots, like this.
Uh,
Those are freckles.
freckles, but those are
You don't
permanent.
have them.
I don't have them. I think
I
that
don't
I
think you
have.
have
I don't know.
freckles.
I don't know.
And the bigger ones that can potentially be cancer or malignant are called moles.
Moles.
Yes,
Mole.
moles. Well, in plural, it's with S. In singular, it's just
Ah, but
mole.
freckles is like some people.
Freckles.
Freckles are. People used to have a lot of freckles in their face, like women. I think that they have a lot of
But
freckles.
why did you say people used to have? Why did you say that?
Oh, I made a mistake. Yeah. People have, I think. A lot of
Well,
people have. A
yes,
lot
a lot
of
of people
people
have
have
freckles.
freckles. But then moles, those are
Those are
no,
bigger and can potentially be cancerous. Those are moles.
okay. So
Mole, and in
moles.
plural, with an
freckles,
S.
freckles, moles, pimples.
That's right. And then you have the wart. Now the wart is it's a growth. It's like a mass, but it's not cancerous. And it's like sometimes you find them on your fingers. And if you have like some STD, which is a sexually transmitted disease, STD, you can have them like on your private parts, warts.
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 Okay,
WARTS in plural, warts.
Oh, okay.
Do you understand what I'm referring to when I say
yes,
warts?
Yes. I'm relating. Yes, I understand. There are many many publicity.
No, many ads.
Many ads
on TV
suggesting you to buy like something to avoid having those kind of problems.
Well, I think those kinds.
Those kinds. That's a recurring mistake. Recurring. I think my brain is warming up. It is 7 a.m. here. No, 8 a.m. here.
I think you maybe you played too much poker and drank too many whiskeys while you were on site.
No, I went to the swimming pool yesterday and I was exhausted after that.
Are you going? Sorry, what were we saying?
I went to the swimming pool.
The wart cream. Sorry, the cream. Yeah, for warts. I think that cream is to like burn away, or like to remove the wart, right?
Exactly, creams that they want you to buy those things. Exactly.
And I don't think you don't seem to have pimples, freckles, moles, or warts.
I have pimples. I have one here. I don't know. Maybe I eat too much avocado.
Avocado. And actually in Australia, people just say avo.
Avo. Okay, avocado.
Avo.
Okay. I ate too much avocado this week, I think.
You seem to have a pretty serious Adam's apple as well.
Yeah. Adam's
That's
apple.
A big one, huh?
Yeah.
You would be a terrible transvestite with that
All
Adam's
those
apple.
pretty men have Adam's apple here. Do you have one?
That's you would be a terrible transvestite with that. You would never fool any man.
I didn't think about doing that. But
no, you'd say I've never thought about doing that.
I have never thought about doing that.
I have a pretty decent Adam's apple, but not as prominent as yours.
Okay,
It looks like you swallowed a testicle and it got stuck in your throat.
No, it's an apple.
It's actually quite. I can't stop looking at it now.
You can see exactly all the.
It's mesmerizing me.
I will go down.
I can't look away.
Exactly now.
I feel like it's hypnotizing me.
Exactly.
Moving up and down.
But all the pretty men we have.
Pretty boys.
Pretty boys.
Who are you referring to when you say that?
All the people pretty as me, we have.
Well, can you give me an example of a pretty boy who has this?
Yes, like
Adam's apple. Who?
I forget all the names. Like the guy who played in Titanic.
The guy who was in Titanic.
Who was in Titanic?
Yeah, not Titanic.
Titanic.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
For example.
Really?
Yeah, we have.
Well, why don't you share the screen and let's have a look at some photos of Leonardo DiCaprio. And I don't think that he has a big Adam's apple.
And there is an expression to put the theory to the test.
I don't know if I've heard that before. I know there is an expression, but I don't think it's that. I think it's put your money where your mouth is, maybe.
Okay, when you are
Put
trying
put
to
put the theory to the test. I think that is an expression as well.
exactly put a theory to the test. Let me.
Why do they call it an Adam's apple anyway?
I
Who
don't know
like
why.
I can understand the apple, right? Like it's kind of a ball. I can understand why they say apple.
Yes, but Adams, I don't know.
No,
Maybe.
but put Leonardo DiCaprio in the in I want to see if he has a big one because apparently he's the guy that you said.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But he's using like something to hide
That's called a that's called a turtleneck.
the turtleneck. Turtleneck. Okay,
Yeah,
he's using
turtleneck.
it just to hide.
He doesn't have a big Adam's apple.
Here you can see.
Come on, there's no Adam's apple there. What are you talking about? You're full of shit.
But yeah, we have here Brad Pitt. You can see here.
That looks like a standard Adam's apple to me. That doesn't look like anything out of the ordinary to me.
Okay, but they have, and you don't have, and I have one. So that's the point that I was trying to highlight here.
I think that Adam's apples are not a sign of like a pretty boy. I think they're a sign of masculinity, right?
Okay, so that just make things worse for you because
Makes.
that makes things no, yes, that makes things worse for you because you don't have one. So
What are you talking about? Look,
your masculinity is not good enough.
what is this?
Ah, but that's a tiny one.
I don't. I don't think women are concerned about the size of your Adam's apple. I think they're more concerned about the size of your schlong.
But maybe it is related. You don't know.
Oh, so the Adam's apple is like that's the first sign of a man of the size of a man's wang.
Exactly. So women, they don't need to ask you like they just need to watch to your Adam's apple.
What was no, they don't need to watch to your Adam's apple. They need to look at or see your Adam's apple.
They need to look at your or to see your Adam's apple. That's enough.
I thought it was the feet. Is it not the feet? Big, big shoe, big. You know what they say about men with big feet, right?
Exactly. That
was the. I thought that was the indicator, the feet, not the Adam's apple.
But now I think that we brought to the table something new, like your feet, your Adam's apple are related with the size of your pocket
Of your package.
of your package.
Well, I suppose anybody that's listening, that if there's any men listening, put in the comments. First of all, let us know if you have a big Adam's apple, and let us know if you also have a big wang. Wang is a colloquial word for penis. Wang, okay?
Okay, and how should I ask your size of your shoes?
What size shoes do you
use?
What size shoes do you no, not do you use, probably what size shoes do you have, or what size shoes do you wear?
Okay, so what size shoes do you wear, Mr. Ben?
Or you could say use as well. I use a size, or I wear a size 12 in like US 12. I don't know if you use that system, 12.
I think, okay, yes, like from 1 to 12.
I don't know where it stops, but
okay, so 12, that's a huge one.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
So, now I think that I was mistaken. So it is not related with the size of your package.
Have you ever measured
just the Adam's apple?
Actually, talking about like that question about what size shoe do you have? There are a lot of questions like that trouble a lot of my English learners. For example, when you talk about somebody's height, and you want to know that, you want to know their height. How do you ask that question? Do you know how to ask that question?
So how tall are you?
But you'd be surprised at how many people don't know how to ask that. They kind of, how tall are you is the correct question. But a lot of people don't know how to ask that question in English.
Okay.
But that is the correct question. How tall are you? And another thing that kind of frustrates my English learners is this, like the feet or the foot and inches system that English speakers use to talk about their heights. I know that in South America, everybody says I'm 1 meter 80, or I'm 1 meter 82 centimeters. Nobody uses that. In like native speakers don't say that. And I remember I did a video about that, like recommending people to use to hey, like if you're talking about your height, use foot and inches.
Foot.
People got really pissed off. They were like, no, thank you. Well, but it was really like in Australia, in North America, in Canada, in England, people, like if somebody says, how tall are you? They're going to answer, I'm 6'1", or I'm 6'1", I'm 6'2", I'm 6'3", for example.
But that's a system that we haven't used. We have never used. So it's not
used.
We have never used. So it is quite difficult to try to understand.
But like we use the metric system as well in Australia, the meters, centimeters, for everything. But for some reason, when you talk about your height, in all English-speaking countries, they use the foot and the inch system.
Okay, and talking about measurements, how should I ask about your weight, for example?
Probably how much do you weigh would be the most common.
How much
question.
Do you weigh?
Do you weigh?
Do you weigh? How much?
Yeah, remember the verb doesn't have the T. Weight
okay.
is the noun.
Okay, how much do you weigh?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm a 6'2.5", almost 6'3", which is about 1 meter 90.
Oh, okay. You're a tall guy.
And I haven't weighed myself for a while. You weigh yourself on a scale, by the way. That's another piece of vocabulary that troubles people. That's a
scale.
That thing you stand on and it shows you your weight is called a scale.
Scale, okay.
Also very common in South America when you buy fruit and they put the fruit on a scale to show the weight, but the scale is always like rigged. I don't know, rigged like it's like manipulated. It's rigged to show you a different like instead of like giving you like there's your kilo of avocado. It's actually about 800 grams. You know they always try and
exactly.
They always try and rip you off.
Is it common? It is common in Latin America.
But yeah, so I'm about 6'3", and I weigh. The last time I haven't weighed myself in a while, but
maybe we can ask that to your wife.
You don't speak about my wife.
Maybe she knows.
I don't want you and her having any contact. Not a man with that type of Adam's apple. That's a very seductive Adam's apple.
Okay, that's an agreement that we have now.
You're going to hypnotize her when you're speaking with that Adam's apple. It goes up and down, and
okay.
like I said, it's very mesmerizing. Yeah, stop it! I'm getting dizzy.
Okay, so are you going to tell us how much do you weigh?
How much you weigh, not how much do you weigh.
How much you weigh?
Yeah, you've made that mistake a couple of times because sometimes you use a question structure for a sentence that's not actually a question.
Because are you going to tell us
There's
how much you weigh? Exactly.
Yeah.
How much you weigh. Okay, so don't point the finger to another direction, my friend. Answer the question.
Again, I don't know if that's the phrase you want to use in this. Maybe you could say, don't stop dodging bullets and answer the question.
Dodging bullets.
Do you know the verb to dodge?
To dodge? No. Dodge.
If somebody throws a shoe at you, you're going to dodge the shoe. Right?
Dodge.
That's to dodge.
To avoid being...
To avoid like being hit or to avoid like making... To avoid colliding with somebody on the street, you need to dodge them.
Okay, to dodge.
So stop dodging bullets and answer the question.
And is it the same like as the car brand, the car brand, Dodge?
Dodge, Viper, I think so. Yeah.
Dodge.
I think it is.
Okay, Dodge. Okay.
Makes sense, right?
Yes.
I would say that at the moment I'm weighing between 103 to 105 kilos.
Okay, that's a lot.
103, 105 kilos, yeah.
Okay. Something that I want to highlight here is that you use 105, 109. That's something that I struggled to understand some time ago, like 108, 109, for example. But it is common to hear 109, 105. Would you like to explain it?
Well, I've never actually, it's a good question, and I haven't given it a lot of thought, to be honest. I'm just trying to think if you saying it like that, like 10, and it's very strange, like O is a letter.
Exactly, that's crazy.
It's actually it's a fascinating question you ask, because I've never ever given it some thought. And now that I think about it, I can definitely understand why. It sounds really bizarre, because 105, it would make 105 would make perfect sense, right?
Exactly. For our brain, yes, but 10.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Why a letter in the middle of a number?
And have you heard that in any other context besides when you talk about weight?
Yes, like I used to watch series, and they use all the time like 10, 20, and a different number.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I've only like I'm just going to take note of that, because that could be an interesting topic to kind of make a video about on my TikTok channel or something like that. But I don't recall myself using that other than when I talk about my weight, to be honest. Like, instead of saying 105 or 105, I often say 105 or 102. But I'm trying to think about when you would use that in another context.
For example, talking about a price of something, would you use that?
How much does that cost? 203? No, I don't think you would.
Maybe then you will use 203.
Exactly, 203 or 203. Both of those are correct.
Okay, so that's a good topic to just dig in, to try to analyze, dig into, and to try to understand when and what specific situation we need to use O instead of
zero.
The 0 or 200 of the.
Well, you're only ever going to use O instead of 0 when you're individually naming each number. You know, you went 205. You can't say 205.
Okay.
Or 200.05. The only time you're going to use this construction is when you're individually naming the numbers 1, 2, 0, 3, for example.
Oh, okay. When you're trying to highlight the specific.
When you're individually naming the numbers, but I think it's only common, first of all, actually used when you're talking about a number that's related to 100.
Okay, great.
I don't think it would be common to say 306. That would sound kind of weird to me. I think what would be more natural is 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106. You know, between 100 and 110. I feel like that's when you're going to use it the most, for numbers that are between 101 and 1010, or 101 and 109, I should say. Okay,
great. So for all of those...
And honestly, I only use it when I talk about weight at the moment. I can't think of when I would use it talking about, like, for example, where do you live? Maybe I live on 102 Main Street. That also sounds quite natural.
For all of those people who are watching us or listening to us, that's a good thing to know. Like when someone just uses a letter between the numbers. When somebody uses a letter in middle of the numbers, that's something
specifically
good to know.
An O, right?
An O, exactly.
Because they're not going to use other letters.
1A or 1B, 1C.
No, it's going to be 101, 102.
Instead of 0.
Exactly.
Okay, my friend. Okay, go ahead.
And you can just say, instead of 101, you could say 101 or 101.
Great.
It's also extremely acceptable.
Exactly, my friend. So that's all for today, I think. So we are going to talk maybe tomorrow or later on.
I decide when we finish.
Okay.
Okay.
You are the how should I say that? Like the director of the orchestra. How should I say
The
that?
orchestra.
The orchestra, the director.
Yeah, you are the it's not
Director?
maestro, it's the hold on a sec.
Okay,
Look it up. I can't remember what that's called. Director of orchestra. Let me check.
Okay.
Orchestra. I think that's called a. No, I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. I can't.
That's
honestly,
homework for us.
That is homework. Yeah.
Okay. So.
Okay, so now we can finish.
Okay. Great.
Okay, my
Bye
friend.
for now.
Thank you, mate.